What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Affan, and today I'll be watching a movie suggested by my patron over on Patreon. Yes, you can suggest films as well if you become a patron on Patreon. Link in the description. So yeah, that's a thing now. So Pride and Prejudice is the name of the movie. That's the movie I'll be watching. Oh, and I will have the full-length reaction also available on Patreon as well as to channel members as well. Link to both in the description down below. And also on Patreon, you will get this earlier than on YouTube. Both the full length and also the YouTube edit, I guess. But yeah, I've never seen this movie before. This will be my first time watching it. The only thing that I can really think of relating to this is the book Pride and Prejudice. When I was in high school, we were given a list of books to read by our English professore, and one of the books in that list was Pride and Prejudice. I, of course, did not read that, because obviously, but I instead chose Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, and boy did I regret that decision. Now, the book was great. It was just a tough read, especially for a 14-year-old kid, you know? But yeah, I kind of wish I had read the Pride and Prejudice now that I am seeing the movie. But in a way, actually, it works out well because I know nothing now. If I had read the book, then I would know something, right? I think. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, without any further ado, Mountain Dew, let's get into the movie. Pride and Prejudice, eh? Was she reading the actual Pride and Prejudice book? That'd be kind of cool if she was.
Lydia? Lizzie?
Oh, she's actually playing the piano. Like the one we're hearing. It's kind of cool. I like when movies do that. I like how all the ducks made a noise as the dog walked past them. Are they afraid of the dog? Oh, if I was a duck, I'd be.
Never mind that. There's a Mr. Bingley right from the north. 5,000 a year. Bingo. Mr. Bingley, apparently. It's listening. You never listen. You must, Papa.
Already have.
When?
You no compassion for my poor nerve. Will he come to the ball tomorrow, Papa?
I believe so.
Don't do it! Mademoiselle, please. No, I need you to make...
You'd think you'd get used to it, right? Parents kissing, but never do.
Too bad. Humorless poppycocks in my limited experience. One of these days, Lizzie, someone will catch your eye, and then you'll have to watch your tongue.
One of these days. I wonder if today will be that day. He is, Bennett? No, Bennett was... Who's... I don't remember. I think Bennett was their father.
Peacocks is our Mr. Bingley.
Bingley, okay, that's the one.
He's his good friend, Mr. Darcy. 1,000 a year. And he owns half of Derbyshire. The miserable half.
Must be. Oh, so the Bingley is the one in the back there. Man, it's incredible how much things have changed. You know, the dress, the makeup, the hair, everything. I mean, well, okay, the hair hasn't changed all that much, but the dress in particular, for men in particular, I mean, imagine if I wear that now. Everyone would look at me like, what's wrong with me?
Mrs. Bennet, Miss Jane Bennet, Elizabeth, and Miss Mary Bennet, the Darcy of Pemberley in Derbyshire.
Darcy. So Bennet is their father.
I wish I read more, but there always seems to be so many other things to do. Yes,
Yeah, sure, that's exactly what you meant. Darcy does look quite miserable. I hope he doesn't pick, Mary, I think her name was. She looks way too young. Yeah, that one right there. She looks like a little kid. That'd be weird. Well, I guess back in the day, things were a bit different.
Will you dance, Mr. Darcy?
Not if I can help it.
He does own the miserable half, eh? Wait, so which one of them is supposed to choose one of the daughters? Is it Bingley or Darcy? I thought.
We're a long way from Grosvenor Square, are we not, Mr. Darcy?
Darcy seems like the more important one. It might be him.
Handsome girl in the room. She is the most beautiful creature I have ever.
Creature, yeah, definitely.
Her sister Elizabeth is very agreeable.
Perfectly tolerable, I dare say. She's not handsome enough to tempt me. You'd better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles. You're wasting your time with me.
Ouch.
If he liked you, you'd have to talk to him.
I wouldn't have danced with him for all of Derbyshire, let alone the miserable half.
Oh, but you would, though. I would, and I'm not even gay. Looks quite fun, you know. Just hopping around. She's got her eyes on the prize. Not that well. Or just hopping around.
In love with her, but I was sure he would make her an offer. However, he did write her some very pretty verses.
She's had one too many, it seems.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Dancing, if one's partner is barely tolerable.
Good one. But also, that tells him you were listening. Creeping. He probably knows that already. Pretty much all the girls are creeping out on him.
Do you really believe he liked me, Lizzie?
Jane, he danced with you most of the night and stared at you for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Not his friend. Oh, I still can't believe what he said about you.
I'd more easily forgive his vanity had he not wounded mine. No matter, I doubt we shall ever speak again.
Different circles, eh? Although, if her sister marries Bingley and Bingley roams around with Darcy, they might. There's someone watching them? Oh no, I'm like, is someone looking in? But yeah, I was gonna say, they're both very good looking. I don't know why they're saying stuff like that. I don't know.
Inheritance. When you die, Mr. Bennet, which may in fact be very soon, you're left without a roof over their heads. It's 10 in the morning.
She's worried, of course. She's your mother. She cares, you know?
Caroline Bingley. She has invited me to dine with her.
Your sister, okay.
You go on horseback.
Man, I love horses.
Is it?
My granddad had a few.
This is ridiculous.
Well, if Jane does die, it'll be a comfort to know it was in pursuit of Mr. Bingley.
It's gonna be soaking when she goes there for the dinner.
Apparently Lady Bathurst is redecorating.
Wait, so how are they related? Darcy and Bingley. There you go. The Bingleys and the Darcys.
Good Lord, Miss Elizabeth, did you walk here?
I did. I'm so sorry. How is my sister?
She's upstairs.
Thank you.
Okay, I see. I see what's going on here.
She looked positively medieval.
I thought you all looked medieval, but...
To my sister so diligently, she is in far better comfort here than she would have been at home.
It's a pleasure. Oh, I mean, it's, sorry, not a pleasure that she's ill, of course.
I think they know what you meant.
I have a thorough knowledge of music, singing, drawing, dancing, and the modern languages to deserve the word.
And of course, she must improve her mind by extensive reading.
I'm no longer surprised at your knowing only 6 accomplished women. I rather wonder now at your knowing any. It is a small kind of accomplishment, I suppose.
The way Caroline is eyeing Darcy...
You are conscious that your figures appear to the greatest advantage by walking.
There it is.
Mr. Darcy is not to be too
Proud, Mr. Darcy.
And Prejudice.
Maybe it's that I find it hard to forgive the follies and vices of others or their offences against me. My good opinion, once lost, is lost forever.
So they're just living together? Bingleys and the Darcys.
I think a ball is a perfectly irrational way to gain new acquaintance. It would be better if conversation instead of dancing.
I agree with Mary. Mostly because I suck at dancing, but... From, what I saw in that bowl, there wasn't much dancing, just hopping around. Well, some would say that is dancing. Ah, okay. So, is he coming around? He might be. Entirely sure. To Lizzie, that is.
Mr. Collins at your service. What a superbly featured room, and what excellent boiled potato.
Are perfectly able to keep a cook.
Sense a bit of tension.
I've often observed to Lady Catherine that her daughter seemed born to be a duchess, for she has all the superior graces of elevated rank. These are the kind of little...
I see. I see.
These pleasing attentions proceed from the impulse of the moment, or are they the result of previous study? Believe me, no one would suspect your manners to be rehearsed.
I was gonna say, he seems a bit stiff, you know, when he's speaking, as if he's reading rather than speaking.
Well, it is my avowed hope that soon I may find a mistress for, and I have to inform you that
I see.
Miss Bennet has captured my special attention.
Look, she's very pretty, but I don't get it. I don't know why everybody's... Anyways. She's very pretty, that's for sure.
That the eldest Miss Bennet is very soon to be engaged. Lizzie, next to her in both age and beauty, would make anyone an excellent partner.
Well, that's not what you said earlier. I would agree, but apparently you don't, with your own words.
Very agreeable alternative.
I was going to say, well, he does agree and she agrees as well, but does Lizzie, though? But then I thought, do they care? Doesn't really seem like they care what the girls think.
Mr. Collins, the sort of man who makes...
Oh, that's her handkerchief.
Yours, I believe. We all look for some ribbon together.
Okay, so this one's now interested in Lizzie. I think Darcy is as well, and now you've got the cousin, so...
Mr. Bingley, how do you like my ribbons for your ball?
And Darcy.
Very beautiful.
She is. Look at her. She's blooming. Oh, Lydia. Yeah, you can't invite people to other people's balls.
Ooh. All right, cool. He senses competition. Smart guy.
What is the manner of your disapproval of Mr. Darcy?
My father managed his estate. We grew up together. His father treated me like a second son. Father bequeathed me the rectory in his estate, but Darcy ignored his wishes and gave the living to another man.
But why?
Jealousy. His father, well, he loved me better, and Darcy couldn't stand it.
How cruel.
But he did notice you. That's not true. Also, doesn't really come across as that kind of a person, does he? Darcy, that is. At least not to me. I'd like to wait and hear Darcy's side before I make up my mind, you know? There's always two sides to a story. And also, I mean, he doesn't like him, so obviously he's not going to say anything good about him, is he?
On the contrary, Wickham is twice the man Darcy is.
Okay. Her first impression of Darcy wasn't too pleasant, and then Wickham's account on top of that. Yeah, okay. I see. Mary just does not want to be here, does she?
How are you? Miss Elizabeth.
She looking for Wickham or Darcy? I think Wickham.
Good.
Caroline, she looks very similar to this actress from the Annabelle movie and also Peaky Blinders. Did they just look alike or similar, or is it the same actress? Not entirely sure.
Have you seen Mr. Wickham?
Wickham. I assume she's looking for not Darcy. Thought it might be Darcy, but not Darcy. She does not like Darcy anymore. Well, I'm not gonna say anymore, but not sure if she ever liked him.
He must be here.
There you are.
There he is. There's Mr. Wickham. Loving the sideburns. Man, everything. It's so different. The hair. It's amazing. Really.
Your Mr. Wickham has been called on some business to town.
To be sure, dancing is of little consequence to me, but it does afford the opportunity to lavish.
Now, do you understand what Mary meant? She had a point, see?
May I have the next dance, Miss Elizabeth?
I thought that old man was going to ask her too. for a dance.
Did I just agree to dance with Mr. Darcy? It's inconvenient since I've sworn to loathe him for eternity.
Why? Because some guy who doesn't like him told you so? I mean, he might be telling the truth, but come on. Can't you see there's a huge bias that guy has against this guy?
It's your turn to say something, Mr. Darcy.
Doesn't talk much.
I'm perfectly happy to lunch. Please advise me of what you would like most to hear.
That reply will do for present.
They are perfect for each other. And by perfect, I mean the polar opposites, which is why they're perfect. It's funny how it works, you know.
You talk as a rule, Lord Darcy?
No, I prefer to be unsociable and taciturn.
Wickham is blessed with such happy manners. He is sure of making friends.
Been so unfortunate as to lose your friendship,
There it is.
which is an irreversible event.
It is. Why do you ask such a question?
To make out your character, Mr.
And
Darcy.
what have you discovered?
Very little. To hear such different accounts of you has puzzled me exceedingly.
Hope to afford you more clarity in the future.
Okay. She's got his attention.
Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy.
Good evening.
What
My
interesting
name's-
relatives do you have, Miss Elizabeth?
I believe we have.
No, she's not. It's definitely not her, no. But there is some resemblance.
He likes her enormously. Might not do more if she does not. Help him on. She should move fast. Snap him up. Time for us to get to know him afterwards.
Alrighty then. That's just lovely. This poor guy. Rejected by Jane, the older, eldest one, older, whatever, that one, the blonde one. And then also, well, not yet by Lizzie, but I'm sure she will soon.
I've been practicing it all week.
She was pretty good. I didn't think she was. But then again, I am quite shite, so everything to me is good.
Charles, you cannot be serious.
She disapproves. He's still here. He's still here.
Hoping, if it would not trouble you, that I might solicit a private audience with Miss Elizabeth in the course of the morning.
Very happy indeed. Everyone out.
She's like, nope, no, she won't be.
Mr. Collins can have nothing to say to me that anybody need not.
Minute.
Good.
Now.
Jane, okay, her name is Jane.
Jane.
You got this, Lizzie. Come on. You can handle him. You can handle Darcy. Got Collins. Well, let's see. She's terrified.
Dear Miss Elizabeth, I'm sure my attentions have been too marked to be mistaken. Almost as soon as I entered the house, I singled you out as the companion of my future.
Needin'.
I state my reasons for marrying. Firstly, that it is the duty of a clergyman. Vincent, it will add greatly to my happiness. And thirdly,
Sure. What about her happiness?
animated language of the violence of my affection.
Mr. Collins, I am honoured by your proposal, but I regret that I must decline it.
I know ladies don't seek to see too easy.
Mr. Collins, I am perfectly serious.
I must conclude that you simply seek to increase my love by suspense, according to the usual practice of elegant females.
Sir, I am not the sort of female to torment a respectable man.
That's true. Does Mary like him?
Don't worry, Mr. Collins. We'll have this before he comes.
Where is she running off to? Yeah, alright, cool. From the moment he came to this house, I mean, let's be honest, no one, not even Mr. Bennet, was really...
Mr. Lizzie, but she vows she will not have him.
Just doesn't get it, does he?
Mr. Collins may not have Lizzie.
What am I to do?
I like Mr. Bennet. I like him. What is he to do? Like, come on, bruv.
Tell her you insist upon them marrying. Papa, please. Come back now and say you've changed your mind. No. Think of your family. You cannot.
Okay, so I was correct.
Bennett, say something.
The mother at least doesn't really care about her feelings.
Mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins. I will never see you again if you do.
Mr. Bennett. Thank you, Papa.
I love this guy. Let's go. Lovely. What is his reasoning, though? Is it just simply because, you know, he knows Lizzie doesn't like him, so, or is there something else? Because he is their cousin, so is there something like with the sister or something? Like a relation thing? Family thing?
What's the matter?
Okay. She made him decline or reject, rather. I'm like, the cousin must be happy. Jane's available. Ugh. Times have really changed, haven't they?
When he was to return. Read it, I don't mind.
I presume it's because of the family. Because he clearly liked her. Well, very much so.
More likely that he does not love me and never has. He loves you, Jane. Do not give up.
I think I don't know about love, but he's definitely interested.
What about Mr. Wickham? He's a pleasant fellow, and he'd do the job credibly.
Father?
And you have an affectionate mother who would make the most of it.
I love Mr. Bennett. Such a cool guy. Chill.
Mr. Collins and I are engaged.
To be married?
Yes, of course, Lizzie. What other kind of engagement? Earthly reason why I shouldn't be as happy with him as any other.
He's ridiculous.
Oh, hush. Not all of us can afford to be romantic.
He might be romantic. I mean...
I'm 27 years old. I've no money and no prospect. I'm already a burden to my parents. And I'm frightened.
Yeah, times have really changed, haven't they?
Don't you dare judge me.
It's like Mr. Collins said, you know. Might not get any more offers or suitors or whatever they're called. That seems to be the case with her. I love doing that as well. Spinning on the swing instead of swinging.
Plant a lime walk. Oh, yes, I flatter myself that any young lady would be happy to be the mistress of such a house.
They're not there, buddy.
Such a pleasure to run my own home.
Happened, Collins?
Has the pig escaped again?
Has the pig escaped again?
The most extraordinary sight in all of Europe, is it not?
Yeah. Pretty much everything so far has been very fascinating to me. I thought there was a dragon sitting on her head, like a baby dragon, because the feathers going ham. I'm like, it's...
Your ladyship.
Okay, well, I might not be able to show this scene.
So you are Elizabeth Bennet?
The rug alone cost upwards of £300.
Mr. Darcy?
Yeah, what is he doing here?
You know my nephew? Mr. Collins, you can't sit next to your wife.
Well, why not? Is that why, or is that like an actual rule?
I trust your family is in good health.
Has your governess left you?
We never had a governess.
Governess.
5 daughters brought up at home without a governess. I never heard.
Well, judging from your hair, governesses aren't much help.
Hard on younger sisters not to have their share of amusement because the elder is still unmarried.
Oh, what is your age?
With 3 younger sisters grown up, your ladyship can hardly expect me to own to it.
Oh, I hate these people.
Play for us.
No, I beg you.
I mean, honestly, they're different, but I guess in some parts, still like this.
Her ladyship demands it.
The look on her face. Mary. That's who needs to be here. She's pretty good.
The talent of conversing easily with people I have never met before.
Neither do I.
Nice and practice.
It's a good point. Oh, but it's so difficult, though. I get him. All right, cool.
Mr. Darcy.
Why is he shaking?
I'm afraid Mr. and Mrs. Collins have gone on business to the village.
Is he about to express his feelings? Is that why he's so nervous? That's how I would be too, so.
Shall I call for some tea?
No, thank you.
This is hard to watch. Because this is how I am
Good
too.
day,
Oh
Mrs.
my
Leslie.
god.
It's been a pleasure.
That's, oh no.
What have you done to poor Mr. Darcy? I have no idea.
None? Really? Must have some idea.
He saved the man from an imprudent marriage.
Who was the man?
Him?
His closest friend, Charles Bingley.
Did Darcy give a reason for this interference?
I think it was a family that was considered unsuitable.
There it is. And now she doesn't like him even more. I would say she now actually hates him. Wait, I don't... Why would he do that if he is himself interested in her? Isn't it the same family? Or is that more...
I came to Rosings with the single object of seeing you. I love you. Most ardently. Please do me the honour of accepting my hand.
Just the hand?
And I am very sorry to have caused you pain.
Are you laughing at me?
No, she's not really laughing.
If anything might tempt me to accept the man who has ruined, perhaps forever, the happiness of a most beloved sister. Do you deny it, Mr. Darcy? And involving them both in misery of the acutest kind?
I do not deny it.
Oh, shit.
Because I believed your sister indifferent. Watched them most carefully and realised his attachment was deeper than hers.
That's because she's shy.
Bingley, too, is modest and was persuaded she didn't feel strongly
Because
for it.
you suggested it.
I did it for his own good.
My sister hardly shows her...
Oh, so he did.
I suppose you suspect that his fortune had some
No,
bearing
I
on
wouldn't
the
do your
matter.
sister the dishonour, though it was suggested.
What? And what about Mr. You ruin his chances, and yet you treat him with sarcasm.
So this is your opinion of me?
From the first moment I met you, your arrogance and conceit, your selfish disdain for the feelings of others, made me realise that you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
Forgive me.
Ooh.
I have so much of your time.
You know what? I like him. Good man. He heard her. It's more than some people can say. You saw what happened with Mr. Collins, right? She kept rejecting him and... Guy just didn't want to give up. This man took no for an answer. That's brilliant. It's good. It's a good trait. So he did. I don't... I'm a bit confused. Because he himself is not very forthright, is he? So I don't... I'd expect him, of all people, to sort of understand why her sister's a bit shy and not so forthcoming. Know what I mean? I don't know. But he did come forward at the end, though, and express his feelings, so I suppose he expected her to do the same, which she never did. Pride and Prejudice. Now I get it. They're both very prideful, and they have prejudices against each other. Thing is, it's just the, whatever is accepted at the time, just go with it. That's what everybody's doing. But who's that? Darcy? Wickham? Collins? Bennett? Darcy. Is it? Yeah, it is Darcy.
Came to leave you this.
A letter?
I shall not renew the sentiments which were so disgusting to you. If I may, I will address the 2 offences you have laid against me.
Now we get his side, alright, cool.
He demanded the value of the living which he was given, and which he gambled away within weeks. He then wrote demanding more money, which I refused, after which he severed all acquaintance. He came back to see us last summer, at which point he declared passionate love for my sister, whom he tried to persuade to elope with him.
I see.
She is to inherit £30,000.
Yeah, he's after the money.
Made clear he would never receive a penny of that inheritance, he disappeared.
There it is.
I will not attempt to convey the depth of Georgiana's despair. 15 years old.
Okay.
Is he? Are you all right?
I hardly know.
I thought it was his sister. No. Bingley's sister, not his. That made them, decline. or reject or break the marriage, whatever the right word. But it was Darcy. Huh.
Also, because I'm 2 years older.
Lydia's been invited to go to Brighton with the force.
Oh.
Please, Papa, don't let her go.
Lydia will never be easy until she's exposed herself in some public place or other.
If you, dear father, do not take the trouble to check her, she will be fixed forever as the silliest and most determined flirt who ever made her family ridiculous.
Her stay in Brighton will teach her her own insignificance.
Not sure how to feel about that. I get his point. It's a very good point, actually, but at the same time, do you really want your daughter to go through that sort of an experience? Well, I guess he does, but, you know, for our own good. It's beautiful scenery, and I love open fields, hills, mountains. The only buildings that I really like are like the ones in here, like the old-timey ones, castles and stuff. Fascinating.
I'd rather not. He's so... So what? He's so rich.
For heaven's sake, what a snob you are. Mr. Darcy because of his wealth.
Poor Mr. Darcy because of his wealth. What a sentence. Oh, this actress is really good. That was the perfect reaction. This could have been yours. What is it with these paintings? Like, bro, come on, man. I do like the statues. I just don't... Why do they need to be naked? I mean, I know why, but... All right. And there he is. So his statue doesn't have his ass out like the others? See what I mean?
You not think him a handsome man, miss? Yes, I dare say he is.
Okay. Their feelings have changed a bit. Started out not liking her. She liked him, not really. Then hated him. He liked her, then loved her. And then he takes the answer, which, by the way, very well done, Darcy. Does not, force or impose himself. And now she's in love, I think. But he has withdrawn his offer. Where's Darcy? Is he not about? Is that Darcy? His sister. Yes. Is he gonna come after her?
It's Elizabeth!
I thought you were in London.
No, I'm not.
Obviously. Reminds me of Snape. Darcy does kind of remind me of Snape. For some weird reason.
I'm so sorry to intrude. They said that...
I don't think he minds, but...
May I...
That's not the problem here.
I'm very fond of walking.
Yes.
Bye, Mr. Darcy.
Oh, I love the tension. I also hate it, you know what I mean? Because while it is kind of fun watching it, as an outsider, it's not fun at all when you're involved.
My brother has told me so much about you. Your unfortunate brother once had to put up with my playing for a whole evening. But he says you play so well. Then he has perjured himself most profoundly.
No, I said played quite well.
Oh, quite well is not very well. I'm satisfied.
Oh, lovely.
You play duets, Miss Elizabeth. Only when forced. Brother, you must force.
His pleasure. All right.
Oh, it's from Jane.
Jane. I was just thinking about Jane, by the way. I was going to say, because I'm thinking things are sort of turning around with these two. And I'm like, how would she...
Lydia has run away with Mr. Wickham.
This is my fault. Only I'd exposed Wickham when I should.
No, this is my fault. I might have prevented all this merely by being open with my son.
Would I could help you? This is grave indeed. I will leave you. Goodbye.
What's the worst that can happen? This is why you never hear one-sided story and believe it. You know, you store it, you hear it,
Now she's ruined.
but you wait
I don't want to take you now with a fallen sister.
to hear the other side before you make up your mind about people.
Spasms all over me. My baby.
I was thinking, what does that mean for the other sisters in that time? But, you know, now I know.
Let me catch my breath.
It's in Uncle's writing.
They found her?
Found them.
They will be if Father will settle £100 a year on her. That is.
A man in his senses would marry Lydia under so slight a temptation as 100 a year. Uncle must have been very generous.
I see.
To thank our uncle, Mama.
And so we should help daughter marry.
Is that really all you think about?
When you have 5 daughters, Lizzie, tell me what else will occupy your thoughts.
In that time, yeah. It's weird to me. She ran out with him, but then he's demanding the money.
Well, Monday morning came and I was in such a fuss.
I don't want to hear.
There was my aunt preaching and talking away as
Well, it didn't work. What Mr. Bennett was trying to do by sending her.
But I didn't hear a word because I was thinking of my dear Wickham.
Yeah. Really didn't work, did it? The plan. Very much backfired.
Come back, or I would have had to ask Mr. Darcy, but I don't think he'd like Mr. Darcy. He was the one that discovered us. He paid for the wedding, Wickham's commission, everything. But don't tell anyone. He told me not to tell.
I see.
Yes, you won't.
Why is the other girl looking at him up and down like that? Isn't he her sister's brother? Her sister's brother. Her sister's husband now? This is all weird. But all right, one thing's for sure. Darcy took notes.
He is returning to Netherfield.
Mr. Bingley?
Mrs. Nichols is ordering a haunch of pork.
It's Darcy, isn't it? All right, cool.
Must I care about it? Mr. Bingley's nothing to us. I'm sure I never want to see him again. No, we shan't mention a word.
He took notes. And very well. Not like mine. You write them down and the next day you can't even make out what I wrote.
You should be interested. I've no idea. Come along, girls.
Yeah. Why would you?
I'm just glad he comes alone because then we shall see less of him.
No.
But I dread other people's remarks.
It's the same thing that happened with Wickham is going to happen here. He's going to come back to marry you. I hope he doesn't demand money. They don't have that much money. They got to pay that other bitch 100 already.
Mr. Bingley? Oh, my goodness. Everybody behave naturally. Look, there's someone with him.
It's Darcy. That's Mr. Darcy, the pompous one.
Mary, get that away. What? We should never see you. I'm glad we are to see you. There've been a great many changes since you went away. Miss Lucas is married, and one of my own daughters, too.
Darcy knows.
As though it was not put in as it ought to have been.
Yeah, well.
Are you well, Mr. Darcy?
Quite well, thank you.
That the weather stays fine for your sport.
I return to town tomorrow.
So soon.
So soon.
Does indeed. Well, we must be going, I think.
Town last winter, you promised to have a family dinner with us. At least 3 courses.
At least. What is going on here?
Excuse me.
I don't think I know what's going on, but what is going on?
Most extraordinary.
Most extraordinary indeed.
Miss Bennett.
Mr. Bingley.
He's practicing what to say or how to explain himself. It's pretty good.
It
least now we can meet as indifferent acquaintances.
You are in great danger of making him as much in love with you as ever.
Mr. Darcy.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Go blind.
What do you mean?
Got an extra pair.
He's back. He's come again.
I know this is all very untoward, but I would like to request the privilege of speaking to Miss Bennet. Alone.
Everybody to the kitchen.
That means leave. Lizzie? Come on. She can't control a smile on her face. Lizzie, that is. And this gives a chance for Elizabeth to go out there and talk to Darcy. Alone.
I must tell you, I've been the most unmitigated and comprehensive ass.
As far as asses go, not that bad. They're all listening in? Yeah. Their dad is too.
Yes. 1,000 times yes.
Oh, I'm happy for them.
Thank the Lord for that. I thought it would never happen.
Oh, she's so good. The actress. Tears of joy. Just saying, Lizzie. Come on. No. Come on, Darcy. I get it, though, you know. She rejected him, so she would have to now come to him to take her rejection back, basically. It's difficult what he's doing, but, you know, he is good. Good man.
1,000 a year.
I am not quite sure about the whole Lydia and Wickham situation, though. I'll like to talk more about that at the end. I don't know if I misjudged that or what exactly is going on there. Probably misjudged it. That won't be a first time. Lizzie and Jane. So these two are the closest of them all. All the sisters, I mean.
Oh, Lizzie, if I could but see you so happy, if there was such a not man for you.
There is.
Perhaps Mr. Collins has a cousin. What? Maybe he's changed his mind.
Again? Wouldn't be the first time.
Lady Catherine.
Oh.
The rest of your offspring, I presume. You have a very small garden, madam. I need to speak to Miss Elizabeth Bennet alone, as a matter of urgency.
Did Darcy send her?
Report of a most alarming nature has reached me, that you intend to be united with my nephew, Mr. Darcy.
Okay.
To be a scandalous falsehood.
He didn't. Okay, cool.
Mr. Darcy is engaged to my daughter.
If that is the case, you can have no reason to suppose he would make an offer to me.
This union has been planned since their infancy. You think it can be prevented by a young woman of inferior birth? Now tell me once and for all, are you engaged to him?
I am not.
The pain in that I'm not. Ugh.
You have insulted me in every possible way and can now have nothing further to say.
In other words, get the fuck out. There it is.
Misunderstanding.
Is it though? Okay. Who's he engaged to? The Caroline? Or someone else? Not entirely sure. More complications, eh? Alright. That's just lovely. So does that mean Darcy was never really here to catch anyone's eye? Darcy? Of course. Is she seeing him? Is this a dream? There's a lot of smoke. I know early in the morning there is fog. It's not smoke, but you know, smog.
I couldn't sleep.
Nora, my aunt.
Yes, she was here.
Can I ever make amends for such behaviour?
I know one way.
For Jane also, it is I who should be making amends.
Surely you must know it was all for you.
Yeah.
If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once. My affections and wishes have not changed. One word from you will silence me forever. If, however, your feelings have changed.
Which they have.
I would have to tell you, you have bewitched me, body. I love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
It's just an engagement anyways. You can break it off.
Well then.
Wait, hold on.
Your hands are cold.
Cover the sun. Go on. I can still see the sun. So now what?
Shut the door, please, Elizabeth.
Okay.
You say, are you out of your senses?
Possibly.
I thought you hated the man.
Still somewhat do. It's more a love-hate relationship.
Have you no other objection than your belief in my indifference?
None at all.
Man, I like this guy. His earlier decision about Lydia turned out to be not the best one, but then again, that's hindsight, right?
I love him. He's not proud. I was wrong. I was entirely wrong about him. Don't know him, Papa, if I told you what he was really like. What he's done.
What has he done?
Wait, is she gonna tell everyone?
She doesn't like him.
Well...
Must have been wrong.
Must have been. Well, you weren't entirely wrong, because at first, you know, it did,
Good Lord.
She did, I should say. Hate him.
No, you mustn't tell anyone. He wouldn't want it. Judged him, Papa, me more than anyone. In every way, not just in this matter. I've been nonsense.
Well, yeah, you have, but he is a bit miserable. You weren't wrong about that.
You see, he and I are so similar. So stubborn.
I do see similarities, but there are differences as well.
You really do love.
Yeah.
Very much.
Cannot believe that anyone can deserve you. It seems I am overruled. I heartily give my consent.
Man, he's such a good man, Mr. Bennett, you know, so ahead of his time in the way he thinks. Similar to Lizzie.
Could not have parted with you, my Lizzie. Anyone less worthy.
She got the smarts from her dad. Definitely not her mother. I like her mother too, but she's too stuck in her own ways.
If any young men come for Mary or Kitty, for heaven's sake, send them in.
These actors are fucking amazing. This guy almost made me cry. Almost.
How are you this evening, my dear?
Very well. Only I wish you would not call me my dear. Because it's what my father always calls my mother when he's cross about something. Lucy for every day, my Pearl for Sunday, and Goddess Divine on very special occasion.
Goddess Divine.
You may only call me Mrs. Darcy when you are completely and perfectly and incandescently happy.
And how are you this evening?
Mrs. Darcy.
Mrs. Darcy.
There it is. Let's go. I love this, you know.
Mrs. Darcy.
It's very well done.
Mrs. Darcy.
Alas. Yes. Mrs. Darcy. And that's it. Alrighty then. Ooh, this is not Marvel, right? No post-credit scenes? Alright, cool. I've got a lot to say about this movie. This is a pretty good movie, you know? So yeah. Alright, what a film. Okay, this was very different from what I'm used to watching normally. And I liked it. I liked Well, particularly, what I liked about it was this. Now, I haven't seen any. I just heard from people, right? Normally, when you hear about movies that are sort of based around romance and their love and all this, right? There's a lot of physical activities. There's a lot of sexual activities, right? There's a lot of that. And that there was almost none of it. Well, not almost. There was none of it in this one. And I really like that aspect of it. Because then you're just focusing on something entirely different and also wrong, in my opinion, at least. And it sends the wrong message as well. And I really like that they didn't do that with this one. They focused on their core message. Well, there were actually a few messages in there, which were beautiful messages. And I think the reason why I liked it so much is because from your perspective, you know, it might be something that you watch and you're like, well, that's how things used to be. For me, this is very real. This is what's going on. Well, the part of the world that I'm from actually still happening right now as we speak. Someone out there, well, multiple families are going through this sort of thing. So it is still happening, which is kind of a shame in a way. The whole status, family, this and that. It's, you know, that's why I said Mr. Bennett. Like, Mr. Bennett, if he was here today, 2021, people would be like, it's just a regular guy, like, right? But back then and still today in some parts of the world, he is way ahead of his time. Like I said, he did make a mistake in that Lydia situation. But then again, that's after the fact, right? So before the fact, even I was like, well, it's kind of got a point, you know? But at the same time, there are dangers, like Lizzie said, to that decision. And, well, you got to take the risk. And he did take the risk, and it backfired and happens. But overall, for the most part, he has been a very wise man, a very enlightened man. And I really like that. Very different. It's like a contrast between him and his wife. I don't know. It's that thing that I said. Like they're the same, but they're the opposite. Lizzie and Darcy, right? And it's the same with Mr. Bennett and Mrs. Bennett. They're the same, but they're also very much not the same. And it's funny how it works, you know. And it's beautiful in a way when you think about it. What can we take away from this? Well, Pride and Prejudice, the title of the film, right? Lizzie has pride, so does Darcy, and Lizzie and Darcy also have prejudices against each other, right? Because of their families, because of their backgrounds, because of the way they live their lives. You know, they have pre-existing notions, prejudices, pre-existing Judases. Right? And so because of that, they see each other in a certain light, and they shouldn't. I mean, at the end, both of them agree that they were very wrong in their initial thoughts and opinions and view of each other. It was very wrong. They completely misjudged each other. And there's a saying which goes, first impression is the last impression, and I feel like this movie very much challenges that. First impressions shouldn't be the last impression, because the first impression is the first impression. You don't know anything about that person, so why should that be the last impression? Well, it shouldn't be, and that's what this movie, I believe, is trying to say. Another thing which I found quite beautiful was the whole Mr. Collins storyline. You know, it's very clear from the moment he enters the house, whether it's for Jane or whoever, right? He's not very respected, and he's not valued, I should say, not respected, but he's not very valued in that household, and he just doesn't get it, and he just gets rejected so many times, he gets made fun of so many times, but he just doesn't give up. And, well, you could say, well, that's good in certain things, not giving up, being persistent. In this case in particular, I think you should know when someone says no and just like stop. Like Darcy, on the other hand, he could have easily, that rain scene, by the way, why does it always rain? I don't know, in scenes like that. I thought that was a Bollywood only thing, but apparently they do it in Hollywood too. So that scene, he gets rejected quite eloquently, if I must add, and he takes that answer. In that moment, he could have gone in, right? He could have been persistent, and probably it would have turned out a little differently, because at that point, even though Lizzie didn't really like him, she also did like him, and I felt like there could have been something more there, but he didn't. He didn't do anything. He was like, all right, you've rejected me, and I'll respect that, and I'll take your answer, which is no, even though your body is telling me something else, your body language, right? You're sending me other signals. I will take what you said, which was a reject. right? And he goes back. Now, he's persistent in a different way. If at first you fail, try again, that sort of thing. But try again in a different way, not like Mr. Collins, just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Goes back, he takes notes, he's like, all right, these are the objections against me or misunderstanding or whatever, right? All right, cool. Let's correct that. Let me come back and be a better man than I was in that moment. And then let's see what happens. And he does that. He goes back, he corrects the two main mistakes. And not only that, he actually goes a step further. Now, the whole thing about the Wickham and Lydia, I don't know what happened there. Like, how she ran away with Wickham, so now Wickham is asking for money to marry her. Like, what? How does that work? I would think you would beat the shit out of Wickham, but you have to now pay him? Like, do you know what I mean? So that was a bit weird, but that aspect of this movie is, I guess, different than, I guess, my culture, because if that happens in my culture, you don't pay the man, you beat the living shit out of the man. And so then he corrects objections or complaints or whatever, right? And then he comes back and he's like, well, look, this is, there were some misunderstandings. You misunderstood me, I misunderstood you. And also Jane. His initial impression of Jane was incorrect as well, which was the reason why he sort of rejected the Jane and Bingley. Oh no, his first name. What is his first name? Did they even say his first name? I don't know. Oh, speaking of Bingley, was his sister. Is Bingley? Bingley can't be the son of Catherine, can he? No, it can be. But I feel like his sister Caroline, like Darcy. And also, who was he engaged to? Did we see that woman? Who he was engaged to, Catherine's daughter, or was it Catherine's niece? Oh, I'm confusing characters now. But whoever he was engaged to, basically. Do we at any point see her? I'm not sure. Editor Affan here. Just want to add, we did see Catherine's daughter. That was the girl with the glasses. When Lizzie meets Catherine for the first time, Collins is there as well. She's playing the piano. In that scene, we meet her, yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, he corrects all the mistakes and all that, and then comes back and says, all right, what now? Have you changed your thoughts? So he was persistent, right? If at first you fail, try again. He tried again. Differently, very wisely, I must add. So that's sort of the main thing that's going on. Then there's a lot of other things like the family, right? Status, inferior birth, so on and so forth. Not being perfect, being different, widely accepted realities at the time, universally sort of, sort of widely accepted truths, like things that are I don't know how to say this. Things that are accepted as the truth, but isn't necessarily the truth. That's why I don't really like using the word reality, because it's not really a reality, but they're treating it as if it is. Do I make any sense? I don't know. English isn't my first language, man. I hope I am, at least. But not really challenging it, because for majority of the widely accepted truths, they are true. Realities are realities. But there are some instances, such as this one, where the reality isn't really a reality, the truth is in fact false. And in that case, then, if you challenge it, it's actually good, and it ends up being good for everyone. Case in point, in this movie, Lizzie doesn't know how to, or the thing, sing, play piano or music or something, and dance or knit or something. I don't know. There was a bunch of things that when they first meet Lizzie, they sort of mention, and she's like, no, I'm not good at this, that. And it turns out she's not good at anything. She's not good at everything, I should say. Not anything. I'm sure she's good at many things, just not everything. And that's fine. You don't need to be perfect. Well, no one's perfect, first off. So you don't need to be perfect. That's, I feel like one of the messages in there was. Same goes for Darcy. I mean, he's very different than other men. Right? In that way, they are very similar, that they're different, right? They're different in their own ways, and that makes them similar. They think differently, they challenge the norms of their time, and they don't just blindly follow whatever, right? He was at infancy engaged to someone, and I'm assuming he just broke that off. And that's good, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say that's good because, well, what if you grow up to, what those two people who are engaged at infancy, what if they grow up to liking each other, right? And in that case, you're like, all right, fine, go ahead, marry or whatever, right? But most likely they are not going to. Most likely. So in that case, then it's not good. In this case, it wasn't, because he didn't really like her. He be like Lizzie instead. So in this case, it wasn't good, and it was good that he challenged that, and I'm assuming married Lizzie. I don't really see that, but that's what's implied, Mrs. Darcy, right? That's what that means. So we can pretty much be sure about their marriage. But yeah, I really liked the way this was done. I mean, there was a lot of tension for the most of it, the movie, and the way the characters start and the way they end, the way they are at the start and the way they are at the end, they're very different characters. I mean, they're the same, but they're different. They've sort of transformed in a way. They've changed the way they think, the way they see the world, the way they see other people. They've learned a lot, and that's obviously very good. Also, I mean, their whole relationship, it starts off at sort of a hateful, sort of, not hateful, but sort of a bit, how do I put this? They don't really like each other at the start, do they? And then at the end, you know, they're madly in love. So in that way, they have transformed as well. But yeah, this is a very different sort of movie than my regular one. Hold on, let me see. What was the name of the person who suggested this on Patreon? So yeah, if you want me to see a movie, you can become a patron on Patreon and suggest away H. Morier. I'm not... I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, but thank you for the suggestion. It was a very different sort of movie, and I really liked it. Very different than what I normally watch. I love the acting in particular. Could really feel the love, hate, care, you know, all of it, the indifference, all of it. It was brilliantly done. It wasn't just the writing, it wasn't just the story, it wasn't just the direction, it was also the acting. It was everything combined into one. Very beautifully done. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did as well. If you did, do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like I said, I do have Patreon, link in the description. Check it out. Channel memberships and all that. You get full unedited, no reactions, and also you get early access to the YouTube edits. This video will be available on Patreon a couple of days before it goes live on YouTube. So that's there as well. Or if you just want to support me, you can do that as well. It helps out. You are what make this happen. So yeah, if it was shit, you're responsible. No. Thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a nice